It's just people. Welcome back to another stream. It's no panel show tonight. The lads couldn't get the numbers, boys. Couldn't get the numbers. So I thought, you know what? Give the lads a night off. We also did that 3-hour stream last night. It didn't mean to be a 3-hour stream last night. It was meant to be like an hour. They all meant to be pretty much an hour, but then they just go on and on and on and on. I can sit here for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. It don't fucking bother me. Do you know what I mean? It's my fucking channel. I don't give a shit. It's better for me if it goes on for 6 hours. But yeah, them lads, like, they just keep going, and then someone else will throw something in there. We'll end up going, and we're going, and we're going, and we end up just talking for ages, man. It's a good bunch of lads in it. So yeah, it was a cracking show, man. Big up, man. Honestly, the feedback on the panel shows is great. We usually fucking swerve it after an hour and start talking about some random stuff as well, man, which is pretty funny. But yeah, anyway, big up to you guys. I'm desperate for some water. I'm mad thirsty. I've just scrammed a load of MSG via some coca noodles, which are well nice, but they've got like mad amounts of MSG in them, and that means your mouth just goes mad dry like the Sahara Desert. People talk about my beard. I'm going to get a beard trim tomorrow. Don't worry. I know it's a fucking mess, but it is what it is. I'll do it tomorrow. Anyway, smash the likes. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. Don't be making excuses for not smashing the likes like Ruben Diaz. Just actually do it. Fucking hold yourself accountable and just press the like button. Yeah, I don't want to see no excuses in the chat about why you've not pressed the like button. I don't want to see no excuses in the chat about why you guys have not subscribed. Just fucking do it. Hold yourself accountable. And yeah. Okay, so I'm not doing an actual review yet. The review's already out. You want to go watch the review, go watch the review. I'm talking about moving forward, where we go from here. It's quite funny actually, isn't it? Because for me, I see a lot of different things online. I see a lot of different opinions about why it's gone so bad, and why Pep is to blame, and why Pep needs to go, and why this and why that. I always try and look for the most simple reason and the most simple explanation. And the most simple explanation and the most simple reason for me, I'm not talking about today, I'm talking about generically why we're in this situation, is the players are just not good enough. Football's 11v11, and you play 11v11 for multiple games throughout a season, close to 50, 60, 70, depending on how successful you are. And ultimately, generally, the team with the best 11 players does the best. We've all watched a lot of football this year. I've done a lot of football watch-alongs on the channel, on the second channel, More LB. It's quite clear to me that PSG are the best football team in Europe this year. And guess what? They've got to the final. You look at PSG's side, they've got an unbelievable goalkeeper. Yeah, might make mistakes, whatever. But an unbelievable goalkeeper. They've got a brilliant right back and a brilliant left back. I do think the two centre-backs are sus, but they're all right. Their midfield is probably, for me, the best midfield in world football. Fabian Ruiz, who I said signed in the summer when he wasn't playing. João Neves, who was available for 60 million quid. And Vitinha. And then you look at the forward line. Different style to ours, of course. They don't have an out-and-out number 9, but they've got 3 or maybe even 4 decent players. Doué, Dembele, Barcola, Kvaratskhelia. They probably got 1 or 2 others off the bench, like Karl Ramos on that. But you look at their team, and it's just a brilliant team. It's stacked full of quality players. And they're successful. They've won the league again. I think they've won their domestic trophy, and if they win the final, they'll win the Champions League for the first time in their history, and they'll do a treble for the first time ever in their club's history. They've also got a good manager. You need a good manager, right? But fundamentally, they've got good players. Now, I don't sound like a dick, and I don't sound patronising or whatever, because that's not what I'm not what I'm trying to do here. I'm not that type of person. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just highlight our players are not that good. And again, it's not about shitting on anyone. It's not about shitting on the players. It's about just having an honest conversation. And if you accept it, and I've accepted it, it explains why we're not that good this season. Yeah, you look at Edison, for example. I think Edison's the greatest City goalkeeper of all time, right? In my opinion, based off what I've seen. Obviously, I've never seen Troutman, yeah? The guy don't really want to be here. Yeah, so obviously he's made a few mistakes this year. Our right back fled the country to go to Italy. we now don't have a right back at the football club because Rico Lewis is not a right back, Nunes is not a right back, and Akanji is not a right back. So we don't actually have a right back. Ruben Diaz for me has been average for the last 2 years. And his comments today was wild, in my personal opinion. The left-sided centre-back, we've not really had one this year because they keep on getting injured. But Ake this year, when he has played, I don't think he's been particularly great, but he's maybe been playing with an injury. Akanji this year has been poor. Gavardio's been exceptional, in my personal opinion. He's one of the good players that we have, the truly top-tier players, in my personal opinion. He's a top-tier player that we have, and he's been playing fantastically well at centre-back. And I don't really think it worked today, moving him back to left-back. And then our left-back, again, we don't actually have one. So these are all facts that I don't really think people can really disagree with me on. That we have a goalkeeper who doesn't want to be here, and therefore his head's not in the game, and explains why he's made quite a few mistakes this year. We do not have a right back at the football club. Our main centre-half in Ruben Diaz has been average for 2 years. Gvardiol is probably looking like our best centre-back at the moment, but has played about 7 games at centre-back, and we don't actually have a left-back. And the current best left-back at the football club is a 19-year-old midfielder, who, again, has played about 15 games for the club. So you look at the back five, straight away, big problem. And again, this is not extreme views. I'd be amazed if anyone disagrees with me on any of that. I'll be very fair. Be amazed if anyone disagrees with me. That's just the truth, yeah? So that's a problem, and that's something that you desperately need to solve. Going forward into next season, obviously you're going to need to get a new goalkeeper. I'm more of a traditional type of football fan, yeah. In that I don't really like my back four chopping and changing. I'm more traditional. Yeah, go back 10, 15 years, English football, English Premier League, you had a back four and it very rarely changed. Your back two definitely never changed. It was the same back two pretty much all the time. I'm very much like that. Now, I know some managers come in and they're all about rotation and that, but like for me, I'd love us next season to get a back two. Yeah, choose your best partnership, whoever that is, whether it's Gvardiol, Diaz, whether it's Gvardiol, Huzanov, or whatever. Yeah, for me, it's going to be one of those two. I think Gvardiol's got to be the left-sided centre-back, and then it's going to have to be Diaz or Huzanov, whichever one's best, right? I'd like us to try out Huzanov in the Club World Cup, as I've said many times, because of the pace. I think that's really useful, having his pace, especially when we play a high line. But I'm not like, Diaz is fine with Gvardiol. I'm chill with that. And obviously, you need to get a left back and a right back. And the left back and the right back need to be quality players. Yeah? I'm not going to be made to feel bad for asking for good football players. Yeah? Because the fact is, this club spending 50 million quid on these players who are bang average. Phillips, Nunes, Doku. These are average players. Now, who knows whether Doku can go on to be a brilliant player? I don't know. But right now, he's average player, right? So they're spending 50 million quid as it is. Just pop in 50 mil there, 50 mil there. Go and spend it. If you believe the story, I can't remember who it was who done it. I think it might have been Jack Gorn or whoever it was. We could have got Nuno Mendes 2 years ago for 40 million euros, which is about 32 million pounds. But apparently, City didn't want to pay the money, said it was too expensive. So again, doing this whole, we got to be careful. We got to be careful about spending money or whatever. We spend money. This club spends money. But unfortunately, the truth is they've spent it badly over the last couple of years. Now, that doesn't mean that every single player they bought has been shit. Because I know someone in the chat's going to be a melt and pull. Oh, well, Harland was good, or Gvardiol was good. No one's saying that every signing's been bad. What I'm saying is the hit rate has declined. We used to do really quite well with our signings. Pretty much all of them was good signings. Whereas now you're looking at them and going, fucking hell. Nico G now can't get in the team. Kuzanov can't get in the team. Hayes isn't getting in the team. There's only Marmouche getting in the team. So these fullbacks that we need to buy in the summer, and I'd like us to buy fullbacks, i.e. 2, not just one of them. I want quality players. And I don't think City fans should be made to feel bad for asking for good players. Not when you're spending a lot of money on average players already. So who those players are, I don't know. City have just been linked with another player called Savona, Juventus. Never heard of him. Don't know who he is. Hopefully he's good if we are getting him. Shout out Ooze, or whatever his guy's name is, on Twitter. Some French guy. Big up to French City fans, by the way. I don't know where they've come from. Yeah, but over the last 6 months to a year, all of a sudden my timeline's just filled with City fans from France. Some of them seem to know the ins and outs of the football club. Actually, legitimately. Shout out Ooze, yeah? How the fuck does this guy know what's going on at our football club in Manchester when the guy lives in France? But he knows. Tweeted about Savoni yesterday before the journals got on it. So don't know where they've come from, but shout out to them. Yeah, so quality fullbacks. Quality fullbacks. And look at the title of the stream. Focus on creativity. Yeah? I believe that we need to make a 100% commitment to building this team around Erling Harland. We have a striker who, for me, is a generational talent, yeah? 6'5" monster who's just signed a 10-year contract and is one of the best finishers in the game. And we can't create a dime. We can't create shit for this guy. We can't create shit for him. Every single player in the team should be, how can we get the best out of Erling Harland? That's the wingers, the midfielders, the fullbacks, everything. It should be about Erling Harland, in my opinion. Because otherwise, you get stuff like today, where Haaland's up there, and let's just say it as it is useless. Is useless because nobody on the pitch can find him. Nobody on the pitch has the quality to find him at this moment in time. The system's not set up to find him. So what's the point in him being on the pitch? As someone said to me in the player ratings, I think it was in the player ratings, well, LB, are we better off playing without Harland? At this moment in time, I probably would say yeah. But that's not a good thing. That just shows you how bad the squad is right now and the system. So I personally, again, this is my opinion, my view. You don't have to agree with it, but this is my view. I think the signings and the direction of the football club when it comes to the formation, setup, all that sort of stuff should be, how can we get the best out of Erling Haaland? Because if you get the best out of Erling Haaland, you get 50 goals a season in all competitions. If you don't, you might get 25, 30, 35. And in a lot of those games, he won't do nothing. He'll just stand there at the top of the pitch and it'll be a waste of a player. And this guy's on 500 grand a week. So I also think that you probably want to get, your player who's on 500 grand a week, you probably want to play to his strengths. So fullbacks, I would like us to get 2 fullbacks, 1 left, 1 right, because we don't have any. So again, pretty fair request in my opinion. And I'd like these players to be able to create something and do something at the top end of the football pitch. Now, there's been a few names thrown out there. You all know the names: the Aitnoris, the Frimpongs, the Kirkezes, the Cambiasos. I don't know who we're going to go for. But yeah, I would like us to get some. It don't have to be all out attack. Just you need to have a little bit of quality in the final third for me, because we need those overlapping fullbacks. Midfield. A lot of our problems will be fixed when Rodri gets back. Oh, thanks for telling us that, LB. Fucking hell. I have to say it. Yeah, I can't just skip it. I'm fully aware that we all know this. But the truth is, if Rodri comes back, even at 90% of what he was before he went, half of our problems will be fixed because he's that good. He's a Ballon d'Or. He's a Ballon d'Or winner for a reason. But he won't fix everything, because at the moment we have a major issue in our attacking midfield. Kevin De Bruyne's obviously going, so there's no point in speaking about Kevin De Bruyne because he's not going to be here next year. But we have nobody in that midfield that can create properly in the midfield area. Foden is miles off it right now, unfortunately. He didn't have a good game today. I don't know, people need to. He didn't have a good game today. He might still miles off it. We can only hope and pray that he's back to his best next season. but there's no signs of him getting back to his best at this moment in time, in my opinion. I still think he's playing really poorly, really within himself. I don't know why that is. Is he ill? Health problems? I don't know. People saying all sorts of stuff. Who knows what's going on? But he's miles off it. It's miles off the pace. I saw a clip that did Man City's official. I think Man City's official Twitter post. I think Man City's official Twitter account posted a goal that we scored against Southampton last year or the year before. I think it was Foden that scored it. And you want to see the movement of Foden. He's electric. Playing these little 1-2s in the spaces, electric. Pass and move, pass and move. It's like he's playing with a handbrake firmly engaged. So hopefully he can sort himself out. I've already said personally, if it was me, if I was Pep, I'd leave him at home in the Club World Cup. Leave him at home. Let him rest, let him recover, and get him back for the new season. And then he's got no excuses. And if he's not good, then I don't know what the fuck you do going into next season if he's still playing like this. But yeah, you need to get creativity in that midfield. Now, apparently we're signing Morgan Gibbs-White. We spoke about it a lot. Can he create? Well, I don't know, but he needs to be able to create. If we're signing a player that can't create, then we're in trouble. Now, the good thing is I've seen quite a lot of clips from propaganda merchants on Twitter for Morgan Gibbs-White. Shout out Tally. He's definitely one of them. And it's like, yeah, you know what? This guy looks like he might be able to create a little bit. I don't need Morgan Gibbs-White to be creating me chance after chance after chance after chance every single game, right? Because I don't really think that's his game, and I think that would be an unfair expectation. But I need him to be able to create me stuff fairly frequently. Yeah, otherwise, what are you doing? Are you just running up and down the pitch? As I've said, go and get Mo Farah if you want that. Yeah, he needs to be able to create stuff fairly regularly. I'm not going to expect mega volume from him because I don't really think that's his game, but I need him to be able to create a little bit. I also need him to be able to score some goals because you need to be able to spread the goals around this team. And for me, I cannot believe that there's still people out there who don't see this. You know, we have players like Mahrez, yeah? If you go back to the treble year, look how many players scored goals in that team. Harland, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Rodri, Gundogan. Yeah, we had players that scored goals. Now you look at a team and you go, who's scoring? If Harland don't score, we're mudded. Actually, that's kind of moved on to Mamouche a little bit. So I also need Morgan Gibbs-White to be able to score some goals. Depending on how many games he's playing, I'd imagine he's going to play quite a lot given the fee. I'm looking at double-figure goals. I imagine he's going to play at least 40 games. I'm looking at double-figure goals. I don't think that is unrealistic. I think if you look at some of Gundogan's best seasons, even Bernardo's best seasons back in the day, Bernardo used to get thereabouts double figures. All comps, by the way, not just Premier League, all comps. And I think Morgan Gibbs-White should be good enough to get 10 goals. You need to be able to chip in. Everybody needs to do their part. Everybody needs to be able to chip in, right? Whilst you are building a team around Harland, in my opinion, that's what I do. Other players have to take responsibility and have to be able to score. You can't just look at Harland and go, go on, bro, you can do it. No. Harland might get injured. Harland might have an off day. Harland might have an off month or 2 months or 3 months. He might have an off season. What we're going to do then? Yeah. So everyone needs to be able to chip in. Then you look at the other position in that midfield and go, well, what do we do? Well, at the moment, it's not going to be looking like Foden's going to be playing there at this moment in time because he's really poor, well below standards. Now, obviously, we all hope that Foden gets back to his best sometime soon because Foden's best is an amazing player and one of the best players in the world, as per last year when he was phenomenal. And him and Rodri carried us to that title. But it has now been a full season this year where Foden's been poor. He had an okay January, right? He had an okay January. Alan, mate, if you think Foden's playing well, then tell me why he's been on the bench for the last 5 or 6 games. He's miles off it, mate. Come on, mate. You're being disingenuous there. Yeah, you're being mad disingenuous. Foden's miles off it right now. And if he doesn't get back to his best, he's going to be holding bench. Now, like I say, for me, I'd leave him at home in the Club World Cup and see what happens. But you need to make another signing. We're not getting Verts. So what do you do then? Do you go and get an Eze? Do you go get an Eze? Do you go and get another 10? A Cherky? Some people saying go and get Cherky and stick him in midfield. My personal opinion is go and get someone like Tijani Reinders. My opinion is go and get somebody who can play in that midfield as an 8, who's got a bit of creativity. Now, people will say, well, you need an out-and-out creator. I don't see one on the market. Maybe you could go and get Xavi Simons, see what he's about. But there's a lot of debate about Xavi Simons, about whether he's good enough or whatever. But is Tijani Reinders and Morgan Gibbs-White enough? You know, we had the panel debate last night. You know, it was a very good debate. Listen, shout out to both Joe and Poolpy, who was on the show last night. 2 City fans who've got completely different views. 2 City fans who've got completely different views about the players that we've currently got. I'm starting to think we might need a third midfielder. Because as much as I like Echeverri and as much as I like Bob, we have not seen them kick a ball this year in the league. And if we're saying Bob and Echeverri can play in the midfield, that is pure speculation at this time. I've seen Bob play in midfield for Manchester City's academy, and I thought, personally, that was his best position in the Manchester City academy. I've seen Echeverri play for River Plate, and I've also seen him play for the Sudamericano for Argentina back in January, in which he was probably the player of the tournament. However, as some people say, and they're right to point out, that is completely different to playing Premier League football, and it is. And we need to see them play. Now, because we've drawn today, we put ourselves in a position where we might not be able to try them. Are we going to be able to see enough from those 2 players in the Club World Cup to work out whether or not we can go into the season with them as viable number 10 options, right, or attacking midfield options? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But I'm looking at that midfield now and thinking we might need 3 midfielders. Because if it's me, I'd get rid of all 3 of the older guys. Yeah. Gundogan, Bernardo and Kovacic, I'd move them all on if it was me. Now, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I actually think we might only get rid of one of them, to be honest. And I know this is another, you know, talking point where City fans have different views on experience and stuff. I think that all 3 of them are just miles off where we really need to be. Yeah, if I'm looking at a team that's trying to win Champions League and Premier League, I don't think any of those 3 players are good enough to get anywhere near the starting 11 of a team that's trying to win the league. I just don't. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't think any of them get anywhere near a Champions League side. I mean, you look at the PSG midfield: Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, and João Neves. Would Gundogan get in there? Would Bernardo Silva get in there? They're not getting anywhere near it, mate. Yeah, that's just the truth. So for me, I'd move them all on. And I'd just do a wholesale change of that midfield. But that would mean you need to buy 3 midfielders, which I don't think is impossible. You know, you've already got Morgan Gibbs-White locked off by the sounds of it. Go and get Tijani Reinders and then go and get somebody else. Who that is, I'm not sure, but I'm sure there's players out there in the midfield. I think midfield players, that sort of role, I think there's quite actually a few. Football's fallen off. We all know that with the strikers, the attackers, all that kind of shit. But I think the midfield market is still pretty strong. You just look at Arsenal; they've just picked up Zubimendi, different type of player, of course, but still good player. So I think there's plenty of players out there that you could do. Do we get in? And obviously you still got Foden, and hopefully Foden can get back to it next year. The wingers is a major issue for me. Doku is probably our best winger at the moment, but in my opinion, is right here, right now, is probably still not quite good enough for Manchester City. I spoke about, in terms of starting, I think he's a good squad player. I still think there's coaching issues in terms of getting bodies into the box, and maybe Gibbs-White can help that. I still maintain my personal stance that Jeremy Doku is completely incompatible with Erling Harland. The stats prove it. the lack of assists prove it. If he is compatible with Harland, why has he got 3 assists in 2 years? I think them two are completely incompatible. There is definitely a coaching element to that, 100%, because Harland's always at the back post and Doku crosses it to the near post. So why is Harland at the back post when he needs to go to the near post? That's a coaching situation. But right now, I can only say the facts, and that my opinion is that they are completely incompatible with each other, and the stats prove it. The lack of assists prove it. I think he's on 3 assists. 3. Doku for Harland in 2 years. That's not a Doku problem, in my opinion. It's just a problem. It's a problem. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. There's a bit of blame everywhere. Manager, coach, Harland, Doku. Right? There's a problem there, and it's not been fixed in 2 years. Savio, we probably bought Savio thinking that he was probably further ahead in his development than he actually is. He was very good at Girona last year. Yeah, we can't do some revisionism now. He was very good. I did plenty of watch-alongs last year for Girona. He was a very, very good player. The guy turned out in the big games multiple times. I remember watching him against Barcelona, did a watch-along. Fantastic. He played on the left. But he's probably a little bit further behind in his development than maybe we thought. I think Savio's had a good season, but not good enough for Manchester City right here, right now, starting winger, Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues. I think he's done okay given the circumstances of the season. His major issue is his finishing is really poor, right? So if you actually look at his numbers, his underlying numbers, his assists are not bad. I think he got 12 assists in all competitions, which considering he's probably, I'm going to guess he's probably played about, I don't know, 2,200 minutes, guess. I don't think that's that bad in his first season. Consider he's been subbed on, subbed off. But the 2 goals I think he scored that's seriously disappointing because we all know as well he's had plenty of opportunities. He goes through on goal quite a lot, so he needs to improve on that. But I think Savio. I still maintain that Savio is going to be a good player. I still maintain that Savio can be a starting footballer for Manchester City, but he does need to improve his finishing and he needs to become a little bit more consistent. Consistency comes with age and experience, and he's still very young. But going into next season, we will be expecting more from Savio. Again, that's fair. It's also looking likely that his best position is on the left, but that's also Doku's best position. So you got a bit of a problem there. And then the big man up front, Harland. Again, another game today where we create absolutely nothing for him. And when we create absolutely nothing for him, he doesn't bring much to the table. That's just the truth. And that's why people say, we play better without Harland. No. I don't think that's true. I think when we're worse, we play... Well, when we're not creating chances, we play better without Harland because we have a false 9. Yeah, we have a Marmouche, and we get results. We get it over the line. But I can't be part of the Man City are better without Harland or Man City should sell Harland. That, for me, is just ridiculous. Yeah, this guy is one of the greatest footballers the world has ever seen. His numbers are off the charts. His goals per night are off the charts. Build the team around Harland. Get him 2 wingers that can play with him. Or get him to work with Doku. Simple. You want to play with Doku? Fine. But get him to work with Doku. Go through the hours and hours of tape of Doku and Harland and work out why the ball never goes from Doku to Harland. You got £1 million wages being paid to some of these coaches. Someone's got to have an idea about why the ball never gets from Doku to Harland, ever. Yeah? Get another winger that can do it on the right. Let's get midfield that can put him through in transition on the halfway line when we win the ball. Has the quality to do that. Maybe Gibbs White can do it. Maybe Tijani Reinders can do it. Maybe some other guy can do it. Go and get another player. And then go and get fullbacks that can maybe overlap the wingers and whip a crossing as well. Yeah, Nunez has been doing a fairly decent job. Nunes this year's, I think, our second highest assister. That game today was crying out for Matheus Nunes. Said it after 10 minutes. So, yeah, the truth is, like, the squad is just mad downgraded. And I always tell you this, guys, yeah? The easiest way to prove it is to go through the squad in the treble year. Tell me how many world-class players we had, and then go through the squad this year and tell me how many world-class players we have. And it's frightening, to be honest. And this idea was visualized by Nobbins on his own channel when Nobbins did a world-class bracket, okay bracket, like squad rotator, shit bracket. Go through the treble year. It's unbelievable. You had Edison, mega, world-class right back, 2 world-class defenders, world-class left back, Rodri world-class, De Bruyne world-class, Gundogan world-class, Foden on the bench world-class, Mahrez on the bench world-class, Bernardo right wing world-class, Harland world-class, and even Grealish that year was pretty good. What world-class players do we have right now who are performing at a world-class level? Not a lot, man. So Viana and Tiki have got a mad job this summer. We all know that. And that may be one of the reasons why Tiki stayed on, because the job is so big. But we have to go out there and get good footballers. Now, who that is, I don't know. I'm going to wait to see who they are, yeah? But we cannot be buying project footballers. Oh, they'll be good in 2-3 years. We need to buy players that are good, man. Like we used to do. We used to do this, by the way. We need to get back to doing that. Buy good footballers now. Get them in. Like the Marmouche. Great signing, Marmouche. More of that type of signing. More of that type of signing. And don't tell me that we can't do it because it's so expensive. Because we're spending 50 million quid on Nunes. We're spending 40 million on Phillips. We spent 30 million on 2 centre-backs who no one had ever heard of as well. We spent 50 million on Nico Gonzalez, who can't even get in the team above Kovacic and Bernardo Silva. So don't tell me it's a money problem. It's not. It's a profiling problem. Yeah, we've got to go back and get some top-tier players, man. Otherwise, we're going to fall behind. We're literally fucking fighting to the last day of the season to get top 5 Champions League football. And trust me, mate, next year is going to be even harder. Yeah, because Liverpool this summer are going to go mad with the cash. Arsenal have already got 1 done with Zubimendi. They're going to go mad. Chelsea are going to spend dough. Newcastle are going to spend dough. They're all going to spend dough. And it's going to be even harder to get in the top 4 next year. And you want to talk about winning the title? Well, you best sign some first-team players then and stop signing players that are going to be here for that. Who are going to be decent in 2-3 years. He might never be good in 2-3 years. Yeah, I'm talking about Savio and telling you, I think Savio's going to be good in a year or 2. He might not. What about if he doesn't progress? It's not FIFA. You go FIFA career mode, yeah? Everyone just signs 20-year-olds because every year they get better and better and better and better and better. Every year, without fail. They always get better. Yeah, they never get worse on FIFA career mode, man. Every year they get better and better and better. In real life, that doesn't work, mate. If that worked, everyone would just sign 16-year-olds and say, right, we've got a team full of 16-year-olds. In 5 years, we'll win the league. The truth is, players stagnate. Players don't reach their full potential. So if you just buy these players, it's not going to work. What we used to do, yeah, what made us our best squad, we went and bought players like Mahrez from Leicester. Now, maybe someone will say, well, we're doing that, LB. We're doing it with Gibbs White. Well, maybe. I don't think you can really compare Gibbs White to Mahrez, in my personal opinion, yeah? But maybe that's a potential, yeah? But you need to go out and get players that are top-tier players, good players. And there's a lot around, and there's been a lot around, but we've just decided not to go and get them. Players like Kvaratskhelia would have been absolutely perfect for Manchester City. Would have been perfect for Pep Guardiola. In my opinion, he's a perfect Pep Guardiola player, Kvaratskhelia. Young, I think he's only 24, 65 million euros. Get goals, gets assists, direct, can keep the ball as well. Yeah. Players like that. Top tier players. You know, we've got projects now. We've got a lot of projects. You look through the team, what projects have we got? Kuzanov, project. Vita Hayes, project. Jima Bar, project. Rico Lewis, project. Who else we got? Bob, project. Nico O'Reilly, project. Echeverry, project. Savio, project. Doku, maybe project, maybe not. We don't need any more projects. We've got them. We've got them here. We're fine. We don't need any more young players that are going to be good 2, 3, 4 years' time. We need good players for the here and now, mate. Yeah? And every single City fan should be on board with that. That is not a controversial take. And it's not about going out there and buying Ronaldo's, Mbappe's, and all this kind of shit. We're asking for players like Elise, Kvaradona. These both, by the way, Elise went for less than Doku, so it's not even a money thing. Yeah, it's not even a money thing. We spent more money on Doku than Elise. Kvaradona went for 65 million euros. Yeah, that's what 10 million more than Doku. Nunez was 50. João Neves went for 65. It's about profiling. We're not getting the right type of players in here. So then you go, okay, well, what about the players that we're being linked with? What does that indicate? Well, the type of profile that we're being indicates that, for me, that we're going for more project players. So, you look at this Wesley guy from Brazil, 21 years old, mixed reviews. Depends who you listen to. I guess that's the same with every player. Some players will like, some people like some player, some people don't like him, but mixed reviews, 21 years old. He's been picked for Brazil twice. He's got 2 caps there. That's promising sign. Negative sign. A couple of people that have spoken to me have said that he's not very good. But again, do you get picked for Brazil at 21 if you're not very good? Maybe not. I'm not sure. Sabona from Juventus, 22 years old. Again, is he a player that's tearing up trees? I've never heard of the guy before. You would have thought that if he was that good, people would have heard of him, but I never heard of him. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean to say he's not a good player. Because that's not true. I didn't know about Marmouche until about a year ago. Right? He's an amazing player. But you would have liked to think a guy who's playing for Juventus would have been tearing up trees if, again, 22 years old. So is he another project player? Santi Ayuna saying City have got Wesley and Savona above Livramento because of the price. Again, Livramento is a certified top tier player, but he's going to cost money. Do you know what I mean? Gibbs White obviously is an interesting one because I wouldn't say he's a top tier player. I think he's a good player, but you're going to be paying top tier money. So let's see how that one goes. That's a very interesting one. Another one that splits City fans' opinion. Wingers, we've not been linked with anyone. We've had the odd link to Rodrigo, but nothing serious on that one. And I don't think we're going to get a winger. As I said before, I think we'll probably wait on the winger until next month, but next year. But we just need to get good players. Again, like Pep today made an L, 100%. I don't think anyone can say that he didn't make mistakes. But like I say, me personally, my personal belief is this team is just not very good. I just don't rate the players that we've got anymore. I just don't. I rate a couple of them. Yeah, I rate Edison, even though his head's not in the game, I still rate him. I rate Gabardio. I rate Diaz in terms of like, I know you're a good player, bro. You might not be showing it like to a top tier right now, but I still know you're a top tier player. I rate Nunez I know you're not City level, but you're giving it everything and you're still pretty decent. I rate Rodri. I rate Foden when he's on form, and I know there's a player in there. And I rate Harland. Doku, I think, is okay. Savio, I think, will be a good player, but in a year's time, 2 years' time. Kovacic, Bernardo, and Gundogan, I just don't rate anymore. Good players in the prime, of course, but not anymore. And then you got like O'Reilly's and Nico's, who should be squad fillers. I just don't think we've got a good squad. And that's basically it. So we need to get better players, sign good players, and get good again. Stop signing players for 4 years' time, 3 years' time, or high potential players. Go buy the Mahrezes of this world. Yeah. Go buy to top tier players, man. Now, we tried to do that with Verts, but obviously we got cuts on that one, innit? But it is what it is. Anyway, let me come to some of these super chats. Let me see what you guys are saying. Smash these likes up as well, people. Smash these likes up as well. Shout out to sorry, man. Shout out to NV says, what's up, LB brother? I completely agree with your assessment about this club. I'm afraid the club won't get the right players to compete for the Champions League, Premier League next season. Well, I'm worried as well. I'm worried as well because the names that we're being linked with so far don't get me very excited. They don't fill me with confidence. Obviously, you've got to just trust that the guys are going to know what they're doing and they know what that's what you got to trust. But I don't think they've done a great job over the last 18 months of signing players and signing the right players. Yeah, we'll see, innit? Like, they've got the one thing that I would say is based off of January. I'm quite hopeful based off of the January because I like the signings that they made in January. Believe it or not, even though Pep might not like him because he's not playing him at the moment, I like them. Marmoush, top signing, more of those type of signings. Huzanov, different type of signing, young player, and again, we don't really want too many of these young players, but talent ID wise, and this was definitely Viana signing. Talent ID, there, good player. Vita Hayes, who knows? We've hardly seen him. I ain't a comment on that guy. Yeah, Nico G, I like him. Top tier player, I think. I think he's a good player. Not sure why Pep don't like him right now. That's Pep. But I think he's a good player. So again, talent ID's there. And I like what we did in January. Apparently we was looking at Belabor. So we're looking at these type of players, which again, top tier players. But then the names that are coming out now are starting to concern me a little bit. Wesley from Brazil. It's funny as well, right? You know what's hilarious as well, yeah? Is these people who fucking shit on Echeverri, they're probably on the knees for Wesley. So how come Wesley's fine, who plays in the Brazilian league, but Echeverri, who played in the Argentinian league, is not fine? Or Mastan Tuono, who plays for River Plate, is not fine? Make your mind up, lads. Yeah, you can't have it one way or the other. You either don't like players that come from South America, or you do. You know what I mean? But yeah, Wesley, like, who knows what this guy's going to be like? Savona, who knows what this guy's going to be like? They sort of like, they don't fill me with confidence. I was liking the links to like players like Cambiasos and that because he does look like a genuine baller. But it is a little bit concerning. And well, it's concerning for me based on the names. But then January was great. I thought January window was a great window. A great window. I thought it took a while to get Nico Gonzalez through the door. I would have liked that done on the first week of January, but we got it done in the end. I thought it was a good window. So we'll see, man. Listen, the links are not great, but the execution from January should give us some confidence, in my opinion. I think the January window should give us some confidence. And I'm not being funny, mate, yeah. But if Hugo Viana and Tiki can't see that this team is in desperate need of top-tier talent, then fuck me, like, I don't even know what to say in that situation. There's no way that these two guys are looking at this team going, you know what? They're not that bad. They just need 1 or 2 additions and they'll be fine. No, bro, we need wholesale changes. We need 5, 6, 7 new players who are all top tier because you've let the squad decay for 2 years. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they must know that. They must know that. The question is, do they go and get top tier players for the here and now, or do they go and risk it and buy another projects? Zaka says Pep damaged a winning lineup. If every game is a final, then put the right players. Listen, there's no doubt in my mind that Pep obviously has to hold a lot of the blame today for that starting 11, the way it went. Me personally, before the game, I didn't have a problem with the 11 because that 11 should be good enough to beat Southampton, right? And so I seen some kind of comments say, LB, you're not being respectful enough to Southampton. We can't just, go there and expect to win. This is a team that's won 2 games all season and has kept before today, kept one clean sheet in 43 matches. My problem wasn't with the starting 11 necessarily, yeah, because that team should have been able to beat or score a goal against Southampton. Our team with Harland, Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, and McAtee should have been able to score 1 goal against Southampton, lads. Yeah, my problem with Pep in this particular game is his mad slow reaction to it. He should have subbed fucking McAtee off after 20 minutes or Bernardo Silva after 20 minutes. He should have got Nunes on the pitch at right back. He should have got Doku on. And he should have brought Marmoush on at 45 minutes. Yeah. My problem wasn't with the starting 11. I got it. Rotate players. We've got a final at the weekend. Yeah. My problem was with the subs and the lack of them and the speed of them. But yeah, it's weird that Pep says every game's a final and then goes and rotates like mad, isn't it? It's a bit weird. Built to Paritosh says, I think it's also Pep's fault. Fed up of passing back and not taking chances. Also, unpopular opinion, we were playing better with Marmoush and Harland. We were playing better with Marmoush and Harland. But that's not Harland's fault. That's not Harland's fault. That's because the team is unable to create a chance for him, as per the stats proved today. He had one shot in the whole game. Now, if you're playing against Southampton, who are the shittest team in this league, and you can't create a single chance for Harland, that's not Harland's fault. Now, we can talk about, well, Harland needs to work a bit harder. He needs to get to the near post or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, 100%. Harland needs to do a bit more, whatever. Yeah, but fundamentally, this team couldn't create nothing for Harland, mate. Yeah, nothing. So it's a good topic leading up to the game at the weekend, by the way, the final, because I think we've got a genuine debate on our hands there between City fans about, do we start Harland in the final? Because if you start Harland and the team behind him and on the wings is just unable to create for him, then you're just fucked, basically. But if you don't play Harland and you play Marmoush in there, have a bit of, you just fucking free for all it, basically. You don't have to play particularly well to score a goal because you've got so many players in the box and that you score and you win. And that's basically what we've done over the last 6, 7, 8 games. Just get players into the box. Nico O'Reilly, Everton. You look at Nunes, Aston Villa. Just get players into the box, score goals, get crosses in. Play the odds game, get 5, 6, 7 bodies in the opposition box, you score. So I don't know. It's going to be a good debate, actually. We will have that debate a number of times this week, I'm sure. Big up to Norbert, mate. Says we should also be careful against building a team around one person. Would argue the PSG Barca Inter systems work better as a unit. It's a good point. It's a good point, Norbert. The problem that you've got is that you've got Harland. So you've got Harland. For me, you've got to build your system around Harland. Now, I look at PSG and I look at Barcelona and I love the way that they play football. The fluidity that they play with is absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. And I know Barcelona have Lewandowski up top, but that is not the same as on Harland up top, in my opinion. Yeah, because I think Lewandowski is much better at dropping deep and linking the play. We have now got a completely different type of team because of Erling Haaland. We have a vocal point up top. Think of it something like Didier Drogba, yeah, something like that. We have a player up top that our job, in my opinion, is to build the team around him and spam crosses in, spam balls in behind for Haaland. Because that's what we've got up top. But, it is obviously a risk, but that's what I do. I build a team around Harland. He's the best finisher, one of the best finishers this country's ever seen in this league. Yeah. He's got the best goals per 90 minutes of any player in Champions League history with 50 in the top 50 goal scorers. Yeah, this guy's at elite level, world-class, generational finisher. So let's build the team around him. And he's just signed a 10-year contract. Let's do it. He signed a 10-year contract. Let's literally do it. Shout out to Tom, says Viana's got a difficult job to do. I do think he's got a difficult job to do. I feel a bit sorry for him, really. Other than the fact he's getting paid, I don't know, $250,000, 200, I don't know, 500 grand a year. I don't know what the guy gets paid. How much is a sporting director get paid? $1 million a year? I'm not sure. We get to travel the world as well, so that's pretty cool. But I think he's got a tough job, mate. I think he's got a tough job. But early signs are, yeah, I think Tiki signed Marmoush. I said that in January. I think that was a Tiki signing. I think Viana was the one who pointed out Kuzanov, who I think is a good player, and Vito Hayes. Don't know about him yet. Nico Gonzalez, I'm not sure whose name that is. Well, let's see. Let's see how he gets on. But I'm sure he'll be given a lot of money. And for me, it's quite obvious the key areas that you need to strengthen. But I do feel a little bit sorry for him because this team has been neglected really since the treble year. And now we've got to do a whole rebuild of the whole squad, it feels like, because we didn't just keep topping it up. And that's why I've said this club should employ a what's it called? A minimum transfer policy. A minimum transfer spend policy of 100 million every summer. Minimum every summer you spend 100 million. And it's not so we all get shiny new toys. It's so you keep adding players in, you keep adding hunger, and you do not let the squad get stale. Because once it gets stale, you're effed, mate. We've now got players, multiple players on 200, 250, 300 grand a week. Grealish, 300 grand a week. Bernardo, 300 grand a week. Gundogan, 250 a week. John Stones, 250 grand a week. None of them should be starting for us. You know what I mean? That's about £1 million. And by the way, that's on top of the 400 grand a week you just let go in Kevin De Bruyne. So every summer we need to be strengthening. Every summer. You just won the treble. We don't need to sign him. We just won the treble. Who's the weakest link? Be ruthless. Go through the squad. We just won the treble. Who's the weakest player in that squad? Right, we're going to get rid of him, get someone better. It's not hard, man. It's not hard. You got to keep on building. Build. Otherwise you sink. Shout out Angel says, brother, this chat cooked me a couple months ago when I said Wirtz won't come to City. I was stressing, so we need to go all out on other players instead of wasting time. I'm afraid we won't sign anyone. Well, I assume you mean we won't sign anyone in the attacking midfielder position rather than we won't sign anyone, because we're definitely going to sign someone. The problem is, as we've mentioned many times, with the attacking midfield position, it's who'd you get? Yeah, who'd you get? Who'd you get? Because who's out there? Who's out there? I don't know. The names are not great because football fell off. That's why for me, I'd go for eights. I'd go for eights with an attacking sort of bias. Yeah, there you go. That's a good word. Attacking bias. That's what I'd do. And wait for the next big thing to come through. Or hope that Bob or hope that Echeverry can be an actual out-and-out 10. But I wouldn't go by Eze, for example. I wouldn't be going somewhere like that. He's 27 years old, still at Palace. I don't think he's tearing up trees. He'll probably fucking dunk on us at the weekend now. You watch Eze absolutely tear us apart, and then we'll all be we'll do the match review. We'll be like, sign Eze now, get fucking Eze. But yeah, that's a tricky one, man. It's a tricky one. Where do we go there? I don't know. Shout out Jason says, when we won the treble, I said to my friends that we need to start a rebuild, and they said I was mad for saying that. Now look at us. That's when the treble probably should have started, if we're being honest with you, bro. After the treble, you know what I mean? Like, Walker should have gone, because the decline started that year with Walker. That's the maddest thing about Walker, is the decline actually slowly started in the treble year. Don't agree with me? But why did Akanji play the Champions League final then? If Walker was if Walker wasn't declining, because he was starting to decline. He stayed last year, and he was bad last year, and then he stayed again this year. No wonder he fucking left halfway through the season, because he was cooked, man. So that again just shows you bad, really. But yeah, we should have done I mean, listen. If you'd have said to me 5 years ago, LB, you're going to win 4 in a row, win the treble, and then the club's going to make some errors and you're going to be fucked for a season, I'm taking it, yeah? But it's about learning from the mistakes. Just learn from them. Don't keep players too long, yeah? Kovacic, Bernardo, Gundogan is on the list. Get good players, get good replacements. Don't mind you getting a couple of project players, but you've got to buy quality. That's why we won 4 in a row. That's why we won the treble, because we had players like Mahrez on the bench for the Champions League final. I don't want to hear no one saying, yeah, but LB, then he left. Who gives a fuck, mate? We won the treble. Oh, but LB, we had Alvarez and then he wanted to leave. Who cares? We won the treble. We won the Prem. Who cares if they want to leave? The problem is we didn't replace him. If we would have sold Alvarez in the summer and bought Marmouche, no one would have cared. The problem is we sold Alvarez and didn't buy anyone. Shout out Matthew. He said, definitely dropped the ball in recruitment recently. I look at players like Elise and Jean Neves and think, how on earth were we not at the table? It'd be amazing to find out the true reason, wouldn't it? Like, complacency, arrogance, naive. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the buzzword is, why we didn't go for these players. Because these players are not even that expensive, man. Like, compared to like what we paid in the past. I mean, Elise went for 54 million euros. That's about 46 million pound. We bought Mahrez from Leicester for 65 million quid about 8 years ago. And Elise is only 22, 23, with bags of Premier League experience. And apparently he's homegrown as well. So now everyone's panicking about homegrown and saying we have to sign Gibbs White because we need homegrown players. Duh. Don't you know we need homegrown players? Well, why didn't we buy Elise then? At 43, 46 million quid, whatever it is, who's also homegrown, has bags of Premier League experience, and he's a fucking baller. Yeah, this guy's got about 40 GA for Bayern Munich this year, by the way. Yeah. João Neves is unbelievable. Because the one watch along that I actually did on this guy didn't jinx him. He was fucking very, very good for Benfica in Europa League, loan 6. Everyone was telling me he was £100 million. Turns out he wasn't. I don't know why we wasn't in for him. That's a mystery. Again, he looks like just a fantastic Pep Guardiola player. And we weren't in for him. Fabian Ruiz in the summer said, go and get him. He's not starting. He didn't start the first couple of games. Didn't seem like he was getting in the side. Said, go and put a bid in for Fabian Ruiz, 50 mil. Yeah, did you guys not watch this guy for Spain in the Euros? Unbelievable. What a player. Didn't get him. Now he's balling out. There are players, there are a lot of players all around Europe, man. There's top players all around Europe, but you just got to have the conviction of going getting them. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's weird. It's a good question, Matty. I don't know why we didn't go for him, man. Maybe we'll find out, innit? Maybe Tiki will do a book and explain why we didn't get these players. Like, weird, eh? Very strange. Hey, smash these likes up as well, people. Get the likes up, man. Get these likes up, guys. Get these likes up. I'll just finish these super chats, guys, and I come to the chat. Give me a minute. Big up to Matham says we got a raging bull. We don't know how to use him, says Massam. I assume you mean Harland. Well, we have known how to use him in the past, the last couple of years, but this year, yeah, not so much. we need to get players who know how to play with Harland and giving the ball early. And that's, by the way, one of the problems this year is when we're so slow at passing the ball. I mean, how many times do I sit there on watch alongs and go, fucking forwards? It's not because I just want literally the ball to go forward because I don't want them to. It's because the quicker you go forward, the quicker Harland's got time to get in behind the defence. If you creep forward, they'll just drop off. All you're doing is limiting the space for Harland. I'll get players who get the ball forward first of all. And by the way, shout out Rico Lewis. Yeah, not today because I don't think he played well at all. But in the game recently when he played in midfield, that's all he does when he plays in midfield. Gets the ball, goes forward. Now, I'm not trying to say that he's amazing or he's like should be starting for Manchester City in midfield going forward. But like he's one player that actually does do that. Gets the ball and goes forward. Yeah, some of the other players get the ball. Yeah, it's usually the older guys. They get the ball to go back. Yeah, and then we give it to Ederson and he'll fucking smack it up. I'll give it to Ortega. It's worse when Ortega's in because Ortega's not great on the ball. So he'll fucking hoof it. He'll go out for a throw-in. At least Ederson can find a City player. Breaking news, football clubs trade players, says Massam. Well, maybe we should do some player trades. Maybe we should do some player trades, bro. Let's have a look at some of your guys' comments in the chat. Smash these likes up, guys. Paul says, was the kick up the arse needed before the final in the last 2 league games? You have to trust the management for next season, says Paul. You have to trust them, mate. I mean, fucking hell. You know, people are loud. People like to speak in it and say Pep out or whatever. Right? But ultimately, he's not getting sacked. He doesn't deserve to be sacked, in my opinion. He deserves to be called out for his shit because some of the decision-making is wild. But again, no one's above criticism. Yeah, unless you're a Pep Guardiola fan. I'm not a Pep Guardiola fan. I'm a Manchester City fan. The Manchester City comes first for me. So people get criticised if they're not doing the job properly, especially when you're on £20 million a year. But shouldn't be saying Pep out, in my opinion, yeah, because fucking hell, he's give him a year. But you got to trust that they're going to get the job right, man. And let's see what they do this summer. But, you know, they've already spent 200 million best part of in January. They're going to do another 300 million in the summer, probably. If they don't, you know, you got to see some legit proper improvement going into next year. I'm sure we will. But maybe it is going to be a kick up the arse, man, for the game on Saturday. Hopefully it is. What do you think about that? I don't know anything about him, mate. Against Palace in the league, we play Gonzalez in midfield, says Buxton. I like Gonzalez. I don't know why he's lost his position in the team. I just don't understand why he's lost his position in the team. I don't really get it. I really like him. I think he's played well since he's come in. Sam says, I am one fed up of us developing and buying promising young players and them not getting a chance. You can't convince me players like Echeverri can't offer anything right now. I agree. You're telling me Echeverri couldn't have done anything in that game today? Wild, isn't it? Wild. And I don't get why some fans are so like getting onto fans who are asking for players like Echeverri. Like, what's the problem? We're watching a team fucking play against the bottom of the league team. This is a team, by the way, that only today has matched or beaten Derby County's worst ever Premier League record, and we couldn't even score a goal. And you got some fans who are cooking. Yo, 1 sec, Hamza. Yeah, 1 sec. I'm just on a live. 1 second, bro. I'll be 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm doing a video with Hamza, man. That'll be released tomorrow. Right, let me finish these chats and then we'll wrap up. Make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow. Video going up with Hamza tomorrow, yeah? Shout out Mo says, we need to play Harland and Mamouche together. I remember before Harland, they played well together. They have to play together because otherwise we've got what? Harland playing Mamouche on the bench, Mamouche playing Harland. Now we need to find a way to get him in the team. Yo, shout out Steve Lewis, man. Like, maybe start them both as strikers. You maybe could play Mamouche off Harland a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe not playing both out and out strikers. But yeah, maybe you could do that. Maybe you could do that. Matthew says, I think there has been a hubris. What the fuck is that? Hubris refers to extreme pride or overconfidence or arrogance, often leading to one's downfall. What the fuck is that, bro? Where do you learn that word from? Nah, that's crazy, bro. I never heard that before. Too impressed with what we've done in the past and felt it couldn't get wrong. Maybe. I mean, again, I don't know. The only people that will know why this has happened is the guys at the top of the club. Maybe they legitimately thought that Doku and Savio was going to absolutely tear it up, get Unreal G&A, Cook. Maybe they legitimately thought that these unks in the midfield would still be unbelievable. I don't know. I don't know what they thought. Maybe they were just fucking arrogant. Maybe they were arrogant. Maybe they thought, oh, we got Pep will fucking sort it. Yeah, I mean, give him whatever. Pep will sort it. I don't know. I'm not, and to be honest with you, Matty, I don't really care. I just want them to sort it out. I don't really give a fuck, mate, because this is in the past now. Yeah, I just want them to sort it out in the summer. You fucked up. We all know you fucked up. You know you fucked up. Sort it. Yeah? Simple. I don't give a fuck about what's happened or how it's happened. Yeah, so long as they acknowledged it, which they have, because Pep's acknowledged it. Yeah, and obviously January was a fucking big sign that they knew they'd fucked up. Otherwise, you don't spend 175 million quid. Sort it out. Sort it out. Buy good players and let's get back to winning. That's what Manchester City do best, winning, rattling rivals. We're not rattling anyone this year, innit? You know what I mean? It's boring. I want to get back to rattling fans, man. I want to see people moaning on Twitter about City being an oil club and 115 and cheats and all that, yeah? Because we're winning trophies and battering everyone. We haven't had that this year, mate, yeah? No one spoke about us. But who knows, Matty? Who knows why it was? Maybe, like I say, maybe TQ will do a book and explain it. Shouts to Million, bro. Says, why do the Unks play in City pass it sideways and the Unks in River play pass it forwards? I think that's down. Maybe, who knows, bro? I mean, your Unks are a different level. Yo, you can't compare them. Your guy's like 39 years old, man. Do you know what I mean? Compared to I was like that old. I was only 30 to 35. Yours are like 39. That Acuna, isn't he? Like 39 years old, bro. So there's different levels to this. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's the stakes over there. I don't know. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. Nah, big up to you, man. Keep pressing the Mastantuono hype. Keep pressing the Carrizio hype. Roberto, when he's back from his ACL injury, yeah, big up to him. Yeah, get well soon, innit? You know, it's been, what, 4 months now? So it's halfway there. You know what I mean? Hopefully he gets back to being a top player because he's a promising player. Shout out Subiabre. Shout out Acuna, Delgado. and all these Argentinian dons, yeah, who are going to tear up world football going forward. Big up to you, bro. Big up to Jason says, saying Pep out after one shit season is wild to me. That's why I said get rid of the unks and see it. Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, I just have people say what they want in it. You want to say Pep out? Say Pep out. I don't give a fuck, right? At the end of the day, it's football. It's not that deep. It's not fucking Biden versus Trump, yeah? It's not politics, right? It's football. It's 11v11. If you want to say Pep out, say it, whatever. I ain't going to say it because I think it's wild. But personally, I think it's a mad take. This is the greatest manager, in my opinion, of all time. And fundamentally, I think the team's poor. I think the players in the squad are poor. Yeah, and I think this is about where the team should be because it's a poor squad. Pepper's got stuff wrong this year, many things wrong, and sometimes it's bemusing. If we go and spend 300 mil and get some top talent in the summer, and next year we go on runs of 1 in 14, maybe there'll be a conversation to say maybe it's not a sacking, but maybe you need to part ways at the end of next season, and maybe you need to bring someone else in, maybe a company, a Nagelsmann, Enrique, whatever. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get many City fans saying sack Pep. And I think you're going to struggle to get me to say sack Pep because of everything he's done. Maybe we'll get in a position later on, next year, the year after, whatever, to say maybe it's coming to an end. Let's just, call it quits at the end of the season, shake hands, move on. But after one bad year, to say see in a bit, get in the summer, let's get some quality players, and let's cook in it. Yeah? But you got to get rid of the old guys. But listen, this is football. It's not that deep, man. Do you know what I'm saying? I say, man, some of the shit that people like, the debates and that go way too personal. Some people get way too personal. Way too personal. And way too, intense. Bro, it's football, man. Fucking hell. It's not that deep, lads. Anyway, big up to you guys, man. Make sure you smash a like. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. I've got a video coming up with Hamza tomorrow. That'll be dropped tomorrow. So make sure you guys are subscribed. If you're watching on Twitter, big up to you guys. I don't always stream everything on Twitter. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Depends on what mood I'm in. But yeah, make sure you guys, if you're on Twitter, yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We just got 31,000 subscribers on YouTube, man. So if you guys could come over to YouTube, subscribe, make sure you drop a like, and then yeah, we'll get a video up with Hamza as well. Yo, big up to Martin, man. Big up to you, mate. I don't know if you're home yet, but if you're not, safe journey. But you must be home. Maybe you are home. But yeah, anyway, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Hamza show.